Hi, my name's Kayanne, and I use magazines, images, and patterns for all kinds of purposes. I use them in my journals and as collage bits and artwork and all kinds of different things. So I'm going to do a magazine harvest today and invite you to join along. I pulled out some of my December themed issues. Most magazines I don't actually take a lot of time to read, although I do get distracted once in a while I'm doing a harvest. But I subscribe to them. When you get those special deals where it's like $5 for a year subscription, so that's cheaper than what I can buy magazines, at a thrift store, and much more convenient. They come right to my door. And I do so much collage work that these are just proved to be an inexpensive resource. A side benefit is that I can have images to cut out to use in my journals, in my daily journals, and also sometimes I use images to do some like mashup type collages. I have a number of magazines waiting here for me, so I'm going to speed things up from here on out, and so it doesn't take us quite so long to go through. I also like to use words in both my artwork and my journals. So words that I can see have really good potential, I will save those, like this word extra here. That could be fun to put in either a collage or on a journal page. So I'm flipping through this Birds and Blooms, and I'm seeing that maybe for now I want to just keep this intact and use it to kind of look through for inspiration in some of my bird artwork. So I'm going to just set it aside, and probably after I've used it that way for a while, I will end up cutting it up too. This Real Simple magazine I had already gotten into because on my December daily, one of my December daily journal prompts was a favorite holiday recipe, and I have made sugar cookies with my kids for decades, and so I put the sugar cookie recipe in there. So I thought how perfect that I had this magazine came that had all these great sugar cookie images on it. So I cut those out, finished cutting them out. I'd already used part of them, finished cutting them out to save. I also love these lights. Aren't they beautiful on this page? So I can see lots of ways that could be fun and useful. And of course the word December will come in very handy somewhere. I also love these little hot chocolate cups. I ended up with oodles of hot chocolate mugs, which I'm not sure I need that many. I think maybe I will later sort these into piles of things to share with my top tier patrons. Get a pack of collage goodies and Happy Mail. So I think I will save some of those Christmas goodies and to share with them. These little teeny tiny images I think will be really useful in my weekly pages. I need small things in there, but I love decorating the weekly page. This fa la 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 I think would be super cool across the top of a page. Eyes I love using in collage, and there's another word with extra and ordinary, both would be useful words. I love this colors in this wreath. It's just beautiful, made of Christmas balls. So I go ahead and cut it out, and I like the colors of the paper as well. So I think maybe I will also just save the paper for collaging with. I'm pulling out my December daily journal now and then just to kind of tuck some of these that I think I want to use in on the page that I think they would go with. So I go back and forth pulling it out and just kind of sticking it in, and I think that's the easiest way. That kind of prep work is the easiest way to be successful with these kind of things. This year my December daily has prompts, and so I already know what those prompts are, so things that fit the prompt will be good. I love the variety of, styles of artwork that you can get pulling through these magazines. So some of them are photos like this cat looking up. I think can see all kinds of fun potential for that. Or these photos that I think would be neat to use for something. But then also like there's very graphic artwork and fun things like that to use. So there's lots of variety in a magazine. I love this chair with the books and the cup of coffee, and I think that I'll try to figure out how to incorporate that. Even though it's a large size, I might do it in a different art journal type book. Here's an example of something that I would keep just as a pattern and colored piece of paper to use in some artwork. So I'm always keeping my eyes out for that too, and I tend to do everything all in one swoop. So I'm thinking of all kinds of different applications while I'm looking through here. I'm trying to decide about those glasses, but decide no, I'll just keep moving. I also, it depends on how sure I am of using them or how soon I plan to use them, kind of whether I take my time to cut them out really carefully or whether I just, kind of cut them out as a block to be trimmed up later. These blues will be great to use in a collage sheet, so I'm just setting those aside, and I just kind of try to keep moving pretty quickly. I'm sorting them into a pile for collage papers or for just kind of art journal collage images, or the images that I'll probably use in a journal. Okay, now I'm starting to get a little distracted looking at recipes. So these clothes are great and give me some ideas of some things, some Patreon things I might like to do. So I'm going to save those just to kind of spur my inspiration when I go to do them. I have a food envelope in my sorting system, so I cut out those pomegranates. I thought those would just be really colorful and pretty on a page. That one was a neat poem I saw, so now I'm going back and I'm kind of sorting things out, cutting things out a little better. These roller skates were pretty neat, so I think I'll save those for possible future use. I really like this poem. The left side of the page I put in my collage papers. The poem I kept as possibly something I would include in a journal. Of course, I had to save the plate of cookies. And there's another magazine down. So in this come packaged together was Better Homes and Gardens and Martha Stewart Living. So now I'm ready to go through those two. Thought this bottle of cleaner would be fun to use on a cleaning day, so I saved it. Some more Christmas packaging. Yes, decide to keep it. I really struggle with posting regularly on Facebook and Instagram, so I thought I would cut these blue ribbons, so like when I set a goal for posting or do a good job that week, I can give myself a blue ribbon. I love this image of an artist surrounded by art supplies in the heart shape, and then also the little easel, so those will be very usable images for me. I like this. I just cut out the part that says make every day count, because that's a lot of what the daily journaling is about, so I cut that out. Love the woman with her gray hair. I really have to watch myself in doing this because I see potential on every page, but I have to kind of stop and think about what I'm really going to end up using or how much I'm able to use, and just try to pick my favorites or the things I kind of have a clear vision for right now. Oh, look at this page. So many wonderful little graphic images on this sheet. Definitely gonna keep. And then here is a whole series of pages that have similar matching graphics. So I will be keeping all of those. I also love I cut out the stocking cap, and then I also love in the little corner it has time to explore. Some of the different pages say something different. So I just love the kind of mid-century looking font that they have there, so those will be fun to include. I'm always checking both sides of the page because I want this Santa hat, but I also want the time to play that's on the other side, so I'm kind of being careful to make sure that I don't ruin that. Found some great kitchen graphics on these two pages, so those will definitely be fun to use. I just bought some peanut brittle at a holiday market, so definitely have to cut out a bit of that. So many lovely Christmas things here. Again, I'm not going to be able to use all of this myself, so I'm going to be sharing with my top tier patrons in their Happy Mail. Many pages like this one have both an image I want to keep, like the Christmas tree, but then that surrounding green sprinkles in the background will be wonderful to use in collage work. Love these cute little gnomes. I'm gonna have to cut those out and save them. They might go to my patrons too, but they're just too cute to pass up. This bird seed I thought would be really fun to include in a bird collage. I just think that'd be super cool to have a little bits of bird seed in the feathers of a bird. Just kind of strange way my mind works when I start thinking of collaging. So I'd set that page aside, and now I'm to all these recipes. So I know after looking at the images, there's some of these recipes I'm interested in, so I try not to study them, take too much time here, but I am just pulling out some of these recipe pages so that I can go look into them closer later. Trying to do some more walking, so I nabbed this image of a woman out walking. I don't have a dog, so I left out that part. Some of these I had to think a little bit about. Another thing I'm always on the lookout for is numbers, so I'm nabbing these numbers that I can use as dates or whatever else I need them to be in my planner and journal and whatever. Sometimes I even use numbers in my artwork. Love this grungy teal background. It goes in the collage pile. Before I start on the next magazine, I'm taking time to kind of sort out what I have cut already, at least a little bit, and I've pulled out my food envelope, and I'm putting all the food related things or cooking related things into there. I'm also sorting out the Christmas into its own pile, and just kind of getting things a little bit organized before I start in on another magazine. I love this image of a woman on her winter egg couch sitting reading a book, and I decided to go ahead and cut it out a little further, and the leftover part's going to go in the collage pile, but I have it somewhere in mind for this couch image already, so I'm going to go ahead and get it trimmed down, and I'm actually going to pull out my December daily journal and get it in place. So I'm looking here, one of the prompts was books I want to read, and there's another one was like, you know, a currently reading, watching page. So I decided to stick it on this little flap that I had bound into the book, and I like how it looks there. So now I'm starting in on the next magazine, and again I'm picking some of those tiny images that I love to use in my weekly pages. Here I'm just cutting, it's a kind of an unusual color, and I'm just saving it for collage. I love to have that kind of lush pink colors with, like, if I'm doing flamingos especially, that is a handy and somewhat hard color to find. So also the spaghetti, I thought how cool would that be as a bit of in some collage. Like, it would take you a little bit to figure out what it was, I think, if it was included in a collage piece. So I think that's fun. There's some pretty red here, so I'm just saving the red and saving the word holidays. Again, I try to go through kind of quickly and not spend too much time deliberating because, really so many of these things could be very useful to me. So I wanted to save this guitar. I also really like, there was a picture of chalk pastels, and I just like the colors. I think that could be fun to, as just kind of a filler on something. Here I found another stocking cap, and my husband is a bicyclist, so I always watch for bicycles. It seems like I never find enough of those, so I'm always collecting those. Here was some interesting pattern in the paper, so I saved that. A beautiful gift. I thought this would be a really cool tip-in for something, so I saved it. This one I'm just after the color of paper. These same eyes I've cut out before, and I'm going to take them again because I just love eyes and they come in so handy. A face, I have a separate pile that I put people images in. Here I'm just it's got this, I like the finished strong word, but then I also really like all the little germs as a collage bit. Here's a pile of antique linens. And now we're looking at some food again, and I decided to keep a couple of these recipes. I'm drawn to this tree, but I think I will probably end up using it as just patterned paper in a collage. But then there's this little chair, cozy chair with a cat and a book, so I need to keep it. More of that blush pink color that I'm always on the lookout for. Save those. Sometimes just even the tiniest piece can be so handy. And there's another magazine done and ready to head to recycling. I do save that front cover in my collage stack. So now I'm just going through and doing some sorting, some things that I know I want to use right away. While I remember that I have them, I'm going ahead and sticking in place. Others I'm just kind of sorting into a pile for words. I'm sorting into a pile that I do like office and studio. Envelopes, and these are all plastic envelopes that I have that I store things in until I use them. Makes it so much easier to find what I'm looking for when they're sorted by topic. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the time to cut out these individual elements on this page, since I would not use the whole page together, but I love the little individual elements and the little houses on this sheet. I also really like the headline and style of it, Time for Giving, so I think that also would be very useful to use somewhere. Now I've pulled out this toy catalog that I received in the mail from Amazon, and it just has a lot of super cute things in it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it up as well. It's hard to decide which side I want to use on this, but I go for the other side because it's got two images versus the one on the front, even though it's very cute. This little Amazon box will certainly be handy as well. I'm just finding so much on here that will be usable. Some of it, like these words, the woods, which are super cute, I might put in my travel thing, since we don't exactly have woods around here. But all these little images that are all in coordinating colors, I just can see being super useful. I thought this clock could be really useful, especially if I happen to have a 2 o'clock appointment. That would be a fun thing to keep. Found another guitar here. My son-in-law's a musician, so that might come in handy. And now I'm just finishing up the last bits out of that catalog, and the next thing I'm going to pull out is something that may seem a little difference, not exactly a magazine, but I like to use comic books. I use them a lot in my art, and I haven't very often in my journal, but I would kind of like to do that more. So I will save all of my scraps for collaging, but I'm looking right now specifically for faces and figures that could be fun to use in journal. They're often so kind of over the top dramatic faces in the comic books, and I think that could be really fun to include in a journal page. So I'm also finding some like this Kaboom, some of those words or exclamations they use in comic books I think also could be fun and useful. So again, all of the rest of this comic book will go for art collage, where you don't necessarily see the figures. It's more just for the color and pattern. But using some of these dramatic faces in my journal is something I want to try doing. Older couple because they're saying, you know, I think it's time for bed. The Breed magazine is one of my favorites for finding images. This is a special issue on creativity, and so I'm just look forward to see what all I find in there. I ended up with 2 copies of this, which accidentally, but I want to keep one because there's so much good information in there that I can use about creativity. So I'm going to keep one as, you know, like a reference book or a book to read, and this other one then I'm going to use the images out of. I really love this image of a woman in a nest with these light bulbs, and it's so expressive of, you know, those little times when you're just quiet and the ideas are flooding in. So I definitely set that aside to use somehow. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'll find something. I also like these vintage recipes, and I think those could be fun to use either as an image or in collage in something. I like using old handwriting in my collages. I want to take a minute and note the scissors that I'm using here. I just got these recently because I just needed a new pair of scissors for paper cutting, and I got these. I have hesitated to get them because they're kind of pricey. They're Tim Holtz, but they are so good. So I got them when they're 50% off, but now that I know how good they are, I would have been happy with them even at full price. So I can highly recommend those if you're looking for some scissors for paper cutting. Love these images of art supplies. I always have need for those. So anytime I see those, I cut them out. So I have several little bits here. Another thing I love about the Breathe magazine is they always have these little small images from the book, and sometimes those are the most useful things. I'm just cutting them into 2 sections now so they'll fit into my storage, and I'm not cutting them apart yet because it could be fun. I might decide to use this as a tip-in all in one piece, so that's why I'm leaving those together, but I know they will be used one way or another. So now I'm just going back through the things I've cut out, and I'm kind of sorting out a little bit. I kind of decided some of these pieces might work well from the comic book for a dentist appointment. So I'm trimming them up a little bit more because I am excited about using those soon. So I'm just going ahead and putting them into my little Hobonichi notebook that I'm using for my December daily pages. Hope you enjoyed watching, and come back soon.